Good evening. Good evening. Well, we're back again. Let's adjust the volume here on the game. Music, it's kind of loud. And let's get into the game. So when we left off last night, we had wrapped up everything on the map that we could do. We had defended the inn and had wrapped everything else up. But while I was doing all that yesterday, I had a couple of cases of things that occurred, some events that occurred that kind of baffled me a bit. And I went and looked them up, and sure enough, there's a couple of things that you have to do within a certain time period or else events change. And I wasted a lot of time wandering around back and forth because I didn't understand how the Market Square map opened up. I went there and looked around and left. I went there and looked around and left. Went up to talk to tieflings and then left, and then went back up to tieflings to search the room because I forgot to do that. We had a thing where we went out to the library and got teleported back to the inn and then had to go back to the library in order to look around. And all that stuff spent time in the game that changed some events. And so because I didn't like that, I reloaded my save game this afternoon and I played through everything again. Kind of speed ran it off stream and got ourselves back to the Defender's Inn. In fact, got ourselves back to the Defender's Inn quick enough to not have to defend it. So, as a matter of fact, let's reload here. Oh, hold on. I need to fix my windowed mode here for real quick. Give me one quick second. Let's fix it. All right. I wanted to put it into windowed mode so I can actually click off into the like this, like I'm about to do, and not totally lose my view. So, put this down here and here. So yeah, so I got a little bit of ahead. Everything else played out pretty much the same, except for a couple of those events, those critical events that I was hoping, was kind of shocked that they played out a way they did. And this time they did. So I did all that. And then I'm back here. I got leveled back up to level 5, same place we're at. We got pretty much the same gear. I think we've got a little worse gear now. Because I really thought we had a better rapier for Camilla. I thought we had a better one. So, but she's got those. We're using our glaive for Sayla. We've got Finian and just a masterwork dagger on him. We've got our wicked longbow, light crossbow of Oracle's Misery. Also, I haven't leveled up Ember or Darian, and I played a little bit more with Ember today. I really like Nenio better, and I didn't really like Darian's setup. His abilities with the channeling, he doesn't have the version of it where you can only affect friendly or enemies. So that made it so I couldn't really use it without healing enemies at the same time. And then his spell book was pretty limited. It was like, here's 7 uses of Cure Light Wounds, and that was it. So just gonna leave him back for now. Now I haven't leveled them up, so they have 1 more level to go. But she got 4 uses of Bone Shaker, and you know, she wasn't so bad with her. She had Cure Light Wounds and Ear Piercing Scream, which is nice. Ninio has less. Yeah, you know, I guess they're all pretty good. I'm looking at it. Because she can cast 4 spells, and Ember can cast 4, just the same spell. But that's okay. I like everybody. I just think these are the people I'm gonna take with me. And then I need to go back down here because I'm making a round and talking to everybody that had a name. So okay, so they don't have anything to say. Okay, I don't remember this. Maybe this is something because my perception's higher now. What is this? Switch? Yeah, that is a switch.
Follow my steps.
That sounded promising. Oh, that sounded promising. Ooh, alright. Cool. Secret door. Yellowed letter. Half a century ago, our parents fled the home of Sarkaris, terrified invading demons. They were certain the war would soon be over, and they didn't go too far, and they found their refuge here in Canabrai. They used what little savings they had to build this tavern where any crusader could get a bowl of soup and a good night's rest in exchange for some money and news about recent victories. The city looked completely different back then. Let's do this. It was a triumphant city full of hope, inspiring songs, and we praised our Lady Pelora openly in hope that the lands of our ancestors would be ours again in no time. Things have changed since then. Though our parents have left to the goddess's halls, Dresden is long gone, the world wound grows deeper every day, and the Crusaders seem to be taking more interest in fighting each other and us townsfolk than eradicating demons. Herlon has gone mad and now puts all of his inquisitive zeal into burning witches. Today, Canterbury is a city of fear and suspicion. We even had a hid our little altar of the Shimmering Maiden in the basement so they wouldn't accuse us of demon worship. Queen Gallifrey has recently appointed Herlon the prelate of Canterbury. Nothing will stop this murderer from taking complete control of the city into his hands and serving his so-called justice on everyone. His precious acts of violence were just the beginning of a full-scale massacre. We have to flee, run like our parents did. This time, not from the demons, but from the Crusaders. Soon we will sell our tavern and leave. Anywhere away from the agony of the endless war. May Pelora protect this city from whatever comes next. Wow! Wow. Okay, so in my run that I recorded, Herlon killed a guy. Just like the guy got away, he ran off. We didn't really go looking for him very much because it was thought we could come back later. And when we came back later, Herlon had found him and then killed him. And in kind of retribution, we killed Herlon. But in this playthrough, knowing that I had to look for this guy, I went and looked for him, talked with him, and then went back and talked to Herlon, and Herlon agreed to let him live. But he was going to be exiled. So we told Herlon to come back here to Defender's Heart and help out. So Herlon's still alive. Well, then we ran into Herlon again, accosting somebody else, and we talked him down. So I'm wondering if we're going to be able to change Herlon's heart, or if we're just going to have to put him down, because it doesn't sound good. Oh man, it's a good team. Okay. Well, we've got a silver inkwell and a fine feather. We'll take those. What's in this chest? Okay, a magic helmet. Some magic missile scrolls. Okay, we'll take all that. What was that helmet? Alluring charisma +2. Um, hmm. The only person that really uses charisma is Sela in our group. And Ember. Well, and Darian. Okay, so we've got 3 people that have really high charisma. Also, I don't understand why they gave Ember a 18 charisma, because it says that alchemists, arcanists, witches, and magi and wizards gain spells based on their intelligence score. And her intelligence is garbage. But she's got a high charisma. So is stigmatized witch not used? Like, why would they give... Look up stigmatized witch. Pathfinder. Hmm. So they get an oracle's curse based on her oracle level +1, and for every 2 feet. So is stigmatized witch kind of like... I don't understand why the look at person would see. Okay, I've often got tripped up on this, and we'll see what's going on. But can someone please help confirm? Ember, her highest stat is charisma, but she's a witch. Now, is it because she's a stigmatized witch, which description says it casts spells spontaneously like a sorcerer? That she uses charisma as a spell casting? I can't find any confirmation in game or anything like that. Yes, Alcat did create the stigmatized witch archetype, a witch that uses charisma for spellcasting, just like the Oracle class. Okay. So they really, really should put a note there. Okay, so when I take Ember out, I'm gonna give her that helmet, and then she'll be able to get more spells. But for now, we're gonna... Oh, she's wearing the red dragon helmet, which I never remember to do. Okay. So who can wear that helmet then? I'm wearing this crazy hat, which gives me more hit points. She's wearing this because it should look pretty. I mean, we can give it to him, but he's never even close. Maybe we give it to him. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. It's either that or her, but she's not gonna wear a helmet. Sorry, she's got too pretty of hair.
Let's
Okay.
head out.
Awesome. Let's go upstairs. And let's go talk to some people. We already talked to him. Did we talk to him? Oh, wait. We have to... Yeah, we already talked to him. Now let's... I missed everything that this guy said the first time. Metco said. Are you certain of your allegations? Claims, okay. Hers are mine. I let her go. Fine. I don't know what that's going to do, but... Yeah, I guess for that. It says the hunter encountered us before, perhaps being an ally and the brutish. Okay. We'll talk later. Let's talk to the storyteller again. I have found a page. Takes the page from hand. Oh, I see. Young, energetic. Oh gods. I have found a key to my past. Finally, I will find out what my own mind has been hiding from me. Woven notes. The elf's expression becomes withdrawn, wrinkles his face. Thank you, Cytra, and please follow me to my story. Let us embark on this journey together. The storyteller inhales sharply a few times and then begins his story. They are leaving. The people of Keonan face the coming Earthfall and admitted that they were incapable of handling this disaster. Proud rulers, artful crafters, brave warriors, wise mages, skilled healers, all of them hurried to the gate of Savorian, looking around fearfully. A clean, safe world is waiting for them now. My people decided not to fight for Golarion. I am ashamed, and I am sorry for them. Their hearts wavered in the face of catastrophe. But my will is strong. I am staying. My kinfolk are looking at me angrily. How dare I diminish their decision with my recklessness? My choice makes them cowards, traitors of their own home. One of them, my former mentor, looks at me bitterly. He hands me a neat notebook with a tree bark cover. In case you change your mind. With a heavy sigh, he returns to the line of those departing. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. I watched the gate of the Savorian stone close, separating me from them. It's time for me to go too. I open my master's notebook. These are his notes about traveling between worlds. In case you change your mind. He hopes the burden I shouldered voluntarily will be too much. I will lose heart, find my way to Savorian. That will never happen. My mouth is set stubbornly. I tear my master's notebook to pieces. I use my forced pride as a shield against my fear of what is to come. Why did the elves decide to flee and not fight? His lips purse with disdain. They are afraid to lose what they have. They were rulers, long-lived and powerful. They valued their lives and sunshine too much to enter the fight with the aftermath of Earthfall. Okay, what is Earthfall? The cataclysmic event was a shower of meteorites impacted Golarion. It destruction of the Thessalonian and Aslant, which are consumed by earthquakes and massive tidal waves, and the creation of the inner sea. The cloud of dust thrown up by Earthfall's impact settled in Golarion's upper atmosphere and blotted out the sun for 1,000 years. Ooh. Your mentor is a mage? Then you must be too, yes? Yes, I am an archmage, and this title is well deserved. I have acquired delicate mastery and succeeded in many areas of magic. But curiosity has always pushed me towards new knowledge since the first day of my apprenticeship. What is the Savorian stone? It's a magnificent crystal bent into an arch by a mighty hand of an ancient divine creator. Our gate to other worlds. It breathes power and it dreams of eternity. Why are you angry at your fellow elves? I spent hundreds of years in Keonan. Completely evacuated just before the earthfall. Okay, I have always admired my kinfolk for the forest that was our home, but the rest of the world seemed to mean nothing to them. But I loved Galarian, all of its places and all the forms it manifests in. I traveled widely and then came home, told my kinfolk about my travels. But they weren't interested. They only cared about Kyoan. Their lack of desire to hear about the wider world makes me sad and angry. Okay, well, what happened next? Earthfall happened. I'm standing at the top of my tower, many miles north of Kyoan. I see a blaze far in the south. I hear a horrendous rumble. The air is groaning, giving way to a huge rock pushing down on my world. And then a blow, vibration that penetrates everything, reaching down the bowels of Galarian and up into the vaults of the sky. Crunching bones, blood from burst vessels, filling my eyes with darkness, drowning in timelessness along with the countless denizens in Galarian. Never before have we been so united in our feeling. When I come around, the darkness remains. My first terrible thought, I'm blind. But no, little by little, I begin to see the stone wall. I am alive. But why is it so dark? The answer is quick. The smell of ash everywhere. The great burnt sacrifice filled the air with incinerated particles of what was recently the continent of Aslan. Aslan is a lost continent in the Arcadian Ocean that was the first center of human culture on Galarian, brought together by the intelligence of the ancient aquatic race of Abelas. As Alantai society and culture grew by leaps and bounds until their arrogant leaders began to think of themselves as superior to their inhuman master. In retribution, the Abeles called down the meteor shower known as Earthfall, sinking the entire continent and condemning Galarian to the Age of Darkness. Now all that remains of the once mighty continent are a string of islands and atolls spread across the large swath of the mid-Arcadian Ocean. Interesting. Great clouds of ash covered the sky, cutting us off from the sun and the moon and dooming us to dusk at day and complete darkness at night. My heart sinks with fear. Treacherous thoughts fill my mind. Why did I stay? Why didn't I run like everyone else when I had the chance? I clench my teeth and stand up to watch Earthfall, proudly like the last Archmage of Kyonan should. Will my world really perish like this? Will I perish? No, that will never happen. I'm still alive and I can fight Earthfall in the darkness, not run from it in a blind panic like my kinfolk and cowardly teacher. But what can I do? I will not stop the disaster. I'll hardly be able to save empires from their destruction. What can I do? I am but one Archmage, powerful and weak at the same time. Okay, I'm going to believe that my character would know what Earthfall is, but we're going to read that, okay? Yeah, it's all the stuff we read a second ago. It's my retreat in the north of Kyoan, my home away from home, my observatory. From its top, I watched the stars, and when they were correctly aligned, the other worlds as well. Here in the northern wasteland, I found the highest mountain and built a tower on top of it. On clear days, I could see the mists over the lake of mists and veils in the east. That's how high I was. Wow, okay. What are you going to do next? I don't know. I need to think. My opponent, Earthfall, is much stronger than me. Without noticing, the storyteller raises his voice to shout. It is merciless. It does not simply destroy life. It kills an era, ending the greatness of Galarian civilizations. They will sink into oblivion and be forgotten as if never existed. I need to think. The elf suddenly winces and is silent for a few moments. He calms his heavy breathing. Forgive me, I shouldn't have raised my voice. This story was much harder than many before it. Most likely because I played the main role in it. It is so strange to see myself, feel the emotions tearing me up inside. Those that I felt a long time ago and not remember them. It's like I split. I became both the storyteller and the main character. Too bad the story ended at that moment. Please, if you find other pages covered with ancient elven writings in your travel, bring them to me. I might be able to shed some light on my past, and we'll be able to find out how my story ended, and perhaps even why I forgot it. Tell me about Earthfall. Admitted they were incapable of handling disaster by rulers. Okay. Oh, okay, that's all the same thing. That's the same story. What can do next? Thank you for your stories. Thank you for your stories. Okay, I have to go. Let's talk to Darian. Okay, we've already talked to him about everything. Let's talk to Ember. I've talked to him about everything. Or her about everything. Sorry. Them about everything. Ninio. Talk to her. Okay. So far, so good. Nobody wants to talk to Lan. Oh wait, who's this? Here we go. Indara. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between Justica legionnaires from the last war and the Crusaders. The perfection of form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into part of a well-balanced war machine, not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but united. Now tell me again why I'm supposed to be impressed by your reckless assault, where everyone is fighting for their ego and the right to beat their peers with swift and pointless heroic sacrifice. Ah, looks like we've got ourselves a student of warfare. Okay. They're gonna have a conversation that I don't want to read all of. Let me see if you should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher in the history of warfare 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. The woman looks at you as being fine. Lecture's over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? Who are you? I am Indara, a warrior, magus, scholar, and classical warfare from Garon. Where's this? Okay. The woman peers at you. I admit I am mildly offended by the fact that my name is entirely unfamiliar to you, but I'm willing to accept this due to Avasan's isolation. Okay. You've come a long way to be here. I think of myself as an inhabitant of Galarian. I don't narrowly identify with any country in particular. Well, why did you come here? To witness a legendary war, the confrontation between the denizens of a plain famous for its love of violence and the Crusaders from every continent united by the common goal of defending their home. An epic struggle of colossal proportions. It hasn't been particularly epic so far, truth be told. Maybe she just can't see it from here. The view will get more epic if she stops hiding amongst us and takes a walk outside. It looks like you know more about warfare than any of us. We're gonna do the old play to her, play to her vanity. Oh, am I hearing things, or did someone finally acknowledge my competence in the art of warfare? Perhaps there's a sufficiently open-minded person among the Crusaders after all. I find myself pleasantly surprised. Why don't you join the Crusaders and show them how the fighting is to be done? No, I'm a historian, an analyst, a theorist. You know how these three words have in common? They describe a mortal woman who does not participate in the conflict upon which her thesis will be founded. But then again, I'll hardly be able to describe this mess as anything other than a feeble likeness of the last words. Okay, it was a war against the rising that ended in the legendary Jessica Empire. Struggle most vibrant. Alas, conflicts followed or pale. So why do you find the last war so inspiring? Imagine legions of golems imbued with extraplanar spirits marching about. Imagine flying cities that swoop out of the clouds like terrifying monstrous birds of prey that drop forces on enemy castles. Picture gigantic mechanisms powered by captive and very angry demons and devils. Imagine standing in the warpath of walking citadels or having to cover your ears to block out the sound of cannons loaded with shrieking elementals. Finally, imagine the ultimate weapon that defeated Justica, the deadly night plague. This affliction was an attack dog, a trained epidemic, a tamed pestilence, striking only those whose master wanted to kill. Imagine all these terrors, understand that no flight or fancy can come even close to the horror of the nightmares that they made real. How do you know so much about it? I can say without false modesty that there's no more authoritative researcher in Galarian. When it comes to the history of warfare, 3,000 years before, I dedicated my whole life to that subject. I personally visited old battlefields, studied the most mysterious and forbidden archives, and sometimes risking my life in the process. I saw a fallen sky city of the Shori Empire with my own eyes. I ripped out the control crystal from an exterminator-class golem that guarded a Jiska laboratory with my own hands. These fingers held a glass flask of the servants of the Pharaoh of Forgotten Plagues, used to create the first generation of pestilence that devastated the Jiska Empire. How would I know so much? I saw and touched everything I'm telling you about. I need to see if she's a character in a book. One of the Pathfinder novels. Because that sounds like... Nope. Okay. So you're wrong to treat the Custis Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate? Oh, okay. Greater number of truth on both sides. None of this applies to Swarthies. A gadfly sees an ox. The ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but crimson fever takes them both. The events of the past are shrouded in legend, but the fate of the world is being decided here and now. That is what you fail to grasp. Knowledge. World. The principles of war are always the same. Weapons, causes, and resources change, but the foundations remain immutable. We'll do this one. Ah, there's logic in your words. I give you that. Yes, the concept of war does not change, but the degree of sophistication and the methods we use to destroy our forces, our foes. The woman stops, realizing no matter how ostentatious she makes them, no longer have the power to captivate the audience. Realizing her words no longer have the power to captivate her audience. As a scholar, I cannot deny there is a certain truth beneath your skeptical statements. History is a complex discipline rooted in fact and evidentiary basis that grows ever more meager the farther the described period is from the present moment. Of course, if I were to argue in bad faith, the way Crusaders embellish their tales of slaying a single Brimarak by adding a dozen valors, for example, I could win this debate. But I'm above such things, and therefore I'm forced to admit that your skepticism is not entirely without merit. I'm sure you wouldn't have been able to expound on your arguments in a longer discussion. Oh, I'm sure you would have been able to expound on your arguments in a longer discussion. And Dara nods with obvious relief. See, I played to her vanity, and I'm glad we both understand this limitation. It is always a pleasure to face a worthy opponent, even if the debate takes place in a grimy tavern. Perhaps especially because of that. She unbuckles her sword belt and hands you the weapon. This is a worthy blade. It will be of use, not for the strong, but also for the wise. Law of Gistica. And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day, I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive away their prey of herds of livestock. It is about time I got back to my research. A hint of a smile graces Indara's lips when she sees the disappointment in the eyes of the many crusaders around her. Stay safe. Wow. Oh, we just talked that lady into giving us a weapon. So we have to go look at it. Short sword. Flaming short sword. So here's what we're going to do with that. We're going to take this cold iron rapier. So she was at +5, +6. We're going to take this off. Now she's at +9. Oh, she can't use the short sword. He can. +8, +8. Yep. Yes. That was cool. That was so cool. Okay, we've talked to all those people already, so...
Tread lightly.
You know anything about Pathfinder? I've definitely heard that name before. Oh. Okay, went missing. His name has been on the list for the Fallen for a while. Here I am. I'm alive. Right in your list. I'm back, and I'll soon file a detailed report about everything that happened to me. I knew it was a misunderstanding, but now I will return to normal. I need to write my folks and probably think I'm dead too. Poor lads. But such is the fate of a Pathfinder. We face unknown, but sometimes the unknown wins and our minds cannot take it. I have to go. Okay, so let's talk to Finian. Start dialogue. Okay, I'm not gonna... I just can't do that. Keep going. Okay. Sheila doesn't have anything to say. Well, everybody, let's save game and back at heart before attack. Okay, here we go. What is our strategy on the Grey Garrison? I shall lead the rest of my forces in a frontal assault. This will distract the enemy enough to let you use the secret passage and reach the wardstone. Destroy it before the demons turn Iomane's gifts into a weapon of the abyss. Most of the allies you found will join my forces, but you can expect a certain amount of support from them. My opinion on Prelate Heller on the side, it is undeniable that his inquisitors are a formidable force. You will benefit from their pinpoint strikes against troublesome enemies. The Order of the Flaming Lance counts among its members both valiant knights and masters of the occult. We are about to test an experimental ritual they've developed. Should it all go according to plan, your party will have a serious advantage during the battle at Grey Garrison. In these dark days, the most unlikely allies join to fight a common foe. All tieflings are treated with prejudice in Canterbury, let alone the smugglers and thieves of their kind, and yet they are on our side. I'll make sure their contribution is not forgotten after the victory. They'll be of little use in open combat, but they'll help you spot secret doors and warn you of traps. Sounds awesome. Let's go. The story unfolds as you draw closer to the events that have the power to change everything. Some quests and locations may become unavailable. Proceed when you are ready. Let's double check our quests. So we need those things. We need the notes from the Grey Garrison, and we need more of these vials of magic essence. That's the camp outside. That's the ruins outside. We need to find more scales. That's outside. We don't know what's up with this Kaylessa. Haven't seen her anywhere. We ran... We met her. Okay, this is the one that's about the... This will go away because we're going to go attack before they happen. That was gathering the allies. Okay, I think we're ready. We expected the demons to attack Defender's Heart. We sharpened our swords and prepared for the worst, but nothing happened. It seems likely the demons simply couldn't organize an attack in time. Well, that's because we were out stomping all over them. If we had been slightly slower off the mark, I'm sure they would have. And that's all down to you. So allow me to share some of our surplus resources. We got a heavy flail of weakness. I don't know who's going to use that. Some potions of cure wounds, moderate wounds, some heroism scrolls, scroll of haste, 500 coins, and 1,000 experience. And now to battle. Okay, we'll take our group.